Now, as you can tell, those two vehicles are very much alike. That's because they've both been designed around a type of vehicle that is called a rock bouncer. It's essentially a car or a vehicle, it's not really a car at this point, that goes up a hill at great speed and is able to go over bumps such as, or obstacles such as huge boulders. So they haven't been designed around a specific vehicle, yet the skill factor is clearly there in both cases, and that's a good thing and also a bad thing. It contributes to the complexity of both those rigs. And as a matter of fact, that's one of the biggest drawbacks. The complexity of working on both of them, can be a little bit of a deterrent. Now, I'll start with the Yeti XL. So the Yeti XL has been out for a few years. It's been discontinued. One thing that I very much like about this rig is that even though it's a similar size, I'll put them side by side later on, to the Losi Super Rock rig, it is much lighter simply because the construction is mostly plastic. Now, some of you may think that plastic is a bad thing, it's not going to be as sturdy, but let's remember that the Traxxas X-Max, which is known for its durability in terms of the chassis for sure, is almost entirely made out of plastic, which is light and flexible. So that's what we have here, and it is in this case, in my humble opinion, a quality. Now, the worst, the downside of this vehicle, and which is probably its worst flaw in my opinion, the handling out of the box is absolutely horrendous. There are no sway bars, the car is all over the place, and there is massive torque twists, mostly at the rear. I can't recall which way it was twisting, but it was pretty insane. Also, there's a lot of weight at the front. That seems to be the case for this type of vehicle, and it was not only was it donkey kicking, but as soon as you were jumping, the car was jumping, it would nosedive directly. So a couple things that we've done to mitigate this. So first of all, there's the hot racing spring shocks rather here. We kept the soft springs there. And the reason why is because you want to have that some preload there. Make sure that the car is touching the ground so that it doesn't bounce off and lose traction. And but we also wanted a bit of control with regards to the sway, and that's why we have the sway bar here. We took the soft one there so that we have control, yet it's not too stiff, and the car wouldn't traction roll. It can grip in the corner, and also have a proper turn in, put enough weight on the outside wheel as you're turning so that you can have a proper turning. That, by the way, is as even more important due to the type of wheels that I've chosen, and I'll speak to that a little bit later. One of the weaknesses that we've identified with the front end, and both vehicles share that weakness here and there, the spindles are to be changed right away. They will break inevitably. I think I can say that. Now, if you go to the rear of the vehicle, we have a different approach. So as you can tell, the spring is a different color. It's blue. This one's white. That's because this one is a medium. It's a medium spring. This one is a soft one. This one's medium, and there was a much harder one. We decided to have a medium spring there to mitigate the fact that the torque twist came from the rear. And as a matter of fact, the sway bar is the strong one. It's the black metal one that you see here. I'll use my pen so that you can identify. There you go. That's it. Not sure if it'll focus, but this part there. The car is now completely planted. It handles incredibly well. It does not traction roll nearly as much as it used to, and that's also due to the fact that we've redistributed the weight of the car. I'll talk about this in a second.